So my question is, does my phone record my steps even when I'm holding it out here and it's not in my pocket? Because doesn't the phone learn the rhythm of your pacing from where you normally carry it? I don't understand how that works. So my wife and I, we got something on the screen here. My wife and I stopped by our elderly neighbor to check on her this morning, and she's fine. She's just fine. She's feisty. She's so saying, I'm staying in. I'm not going anywhere. And those people out there, they're crazy. I say, yes, they are. They're crazy. So she's being careful, being safe and sane, and I'm extending my selfie stick to the max. Oh, I got to tilt this a little bit. So, hey, I'm walking. And my wife and I walked about 1,500 steps together, and that was enough for her. She went inside. She says, don't you do your video when I'm walking with you. So, okay, you're not on it. I don't know. She doesn't want her image out there for the internet to consume. But I'm taking a long walk. Get on the sidewalk and walk that sidewalk until it comes back to where you started. That's a walk around the block. But this is a long block. So this will be a long walk. About an hour, 40 minutes maybe. So hopefully I'm tuning in to the daily White House briefing, watching President Trump, Vice President Pence, Dr. starts with an F, Dr. Fauci, the chief of this, that, and the other thing, all the different people making their reports. Sounds fairly positive, like this thing is going to burn out probably in a month. Hopefully, if everybody continues to be careful, stay home, don't go out unless you have to, or if you do, practice social distancing. I am socially distant right now, definitely. Wash your hands. And you know what? Since you're indoors, and most of you are sitting on the sofa or sitting at the table or sitting at your desk, I'm not a dietitian. Most people who watch my channel just ignore everything I say anyway. But I'm trying to eat just 2 meals a day, not 3, because you're not burning as many calories being at home as you would be maybe when you're at work, depending on your work. I know when I'm at school, some days, as a school teacher, some days I spend a lot of time at my desk, and some days I'm up and around and all over campus and making photocopies and running errands and doing this and that. So it's different day to day. Some of you have very active jobs where you are burning a lot of calories. Some of you don't. What's all this traffic about, man? You're all supposed to be home. Why is there so much traffic out here? Go home, people. Oh, speaking of traffic, since I'm on a main thoroughfare here. This is one of the numbered streets in the AV that, if you've been in the Antelope Valley, we are really spoiled when it comes to how the streets are laid out. Back in the 50s, I think it was the 1950s, the early 50s, the Army Corps of Engineers laid out the streets in the Antelope Valley. And we have one street running north and south called Division Street. And then extending outwards west and east in 1 mile increments, you have 10th Street West, 20th Street West, 30th Street West, all the way into the hundreds way out there in the desert. And on the east side, 10th Street East, 20th Street East, all the way to at least into the 200s, I think. So that's a grid No, that's not a grid. That's half a grid because I only described the north and south running streets. The east and west running streets start north at the county line, Los Angeles County, Kern County, the county line, and that's Avenue A. Then every mile south, it increases by one letter. So we have Avenue B, Avenue C, Avenue D, all the way up to, I think it goes all the way to W. So basically with our 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 east and west, and then our A through W, this is a 1 mile square grid. So if you live on Tulip Lane, you go, where the heck is Tulip Lane? You can say, well, it's kind of in the southeast corner of 30th Street West and Avenue M. So it's really easy to get around here in the Antelope Valley. Of course, most places nowadays with GPS technology and navigation apps on our cell phones and in cars, all the modern cars that come with navigation systems and computer systems built in, you don't really even need to know that because you just type in where you're going and it tells you where to go. So that's pretty cool. Unless you're driving older cars. We have 2 vehicles. I drive I missed my turn. Trying to stay on the sidewalk. I drive a 2000 Mercury Sable. It's officially 20 years old. Runs like a hot rod because I have a good mechanic who takes care of it. And I go to Jiffy Lube. Talk about being religious. That's my religion, Jiffy Lube. And then my wife drives a 2004 Buick LeSabre. Gosh, my mind blanked a little bit right there. 2004 Buick LeSabre. And it's a pretty sweet little ride. It's very smooth. And again, we have a great mechanic and we take it to Jiffy Lube regularly. I tell you guys, when I was a young man and newly married, I tried to do as much automotive maintenance as I could on my own, and I am not an auto mechanic. But I can't tell you how frustrating it is just to change the oil when you really don't know what you're doing. And doing tune-ups, spark plugs and wires and distributor caps and blah, blah, blah. Ever since Jiffy Lube came along, that's where I go. Let them swap out the fluids and do all that stuff. Let them skin their knuckles. Man, I used to have skinned knuckles all the time from working on cars. Working on my own. I never worked on anybody else's. That would be foolish. Anyway, a little out of breath from keeping up a fairly steady pace and trying to talk to y'all. So, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hang up. I'm going to hang up for now and continue this run. I'm going to listen to some music, listen to a podcast. Oh, I wanted to recommend, I'll put this in the bottom corner of the screen. Speaking of YouTube and staying up to date, there's a YouTube channel that I follow fairly regularly called Blue Collar Logic. I strongly recommend that you give it a listen or a watch. YouTube, Blue Collar Logic. He's very well researched and well spoken, and I highly recommend. It's 2 guys, Dave and Jason, and it's just very common sense. In fact, they call it the common sense of our time. Hear those dogs barking? Does the coronavirus affect animals, mammals, reptiles, other forms of life? Or is it just a human-based pathogen? I don't know. Maybe I'll look that up when I get home. Or maybe you have the answer. Post down below. Give me some comments down below. And since it is spring break, And I'm not doing my band director's log, not really talking about school. If you have any questions you'd like me to answer, post those down in the comments below. We can turn this into a Q&A thing. Staying on the sidewalk, turning the corner. This is great. Okay. Good grief, I've rambled on way too much. Oh, I gotta use my little. All right, I got my gloves on and my mask. I'm ready to go to the dry cleaners. Woohoo! This is stupid. No, it's not stupid. It's just unnecessary. I was just teasing my daughter on FaceTime that I was super prepared with my gloves, my mask, super prepared to go to the dry cleaner to pick up my dry cleaning. Oh, don't go pick up your dry cleaning in the middle of the pandemic. Are you kidding? Those clothes are the cleanest things. They don't have any germs on them. They're super dry cleaned. All right. Back to Sanity Town. I'm going to the dry cleaners. Gonna pick up my tuxedo and my suit. One of my suits. It's actually, the suit I'm picking up is a Walmart suit that I got like 10 years ago when I was 50 pounds heavier. It's huge. And when I wore it because it's black. I wore it for the band photo for the yearbook, and I had some pony clips. That's a movie production term. Had some A-clips, and I clamped the back to tighten it up so it wouldn't be baggy on me. So I'm walking out there to the photo shoot, and my kids are in their band uniforms, and a couple of them start laughing at me like I'm such a doofus. But I said, "Oh, I'm sorry. You've never worked on a movie set, have you?" And then they stopped laughing. "Oh, you worked on a movie set?" I said, "Yeah, this is called Hollywood magic. Putting the clips on the back of the jacket so it fits right." Just a little motion picture behind the scenes trivia for you today. I wonder how long this blog is going to be, if it'll make it under 15 minutes.